My name is Kate Weatherspoon. I'm a performance coach and founder of Lift Performance Academy. So for over 16 years, I've played various roles in the health and fitness industry. Personal trainer to men and women of all ages. Performance coach to athletes, young and high level, and entrepreneurs. And I've also been a gym owner. It's fair to say that over the years, I've trained hundreds, probably thousands of different types of people. In this video, I'm going to take you through 9 performance tests for men over 40. So what are performance tests? And why does this even matter? So here's the thing. I'm going to tell you a little story. So I was in the park the other day with my kids. I've got 3 kids and we were in the park. We were in the swings, roundabouts, all that type of thing. And I overheard a conversation. I don't normally listen to people's conversations. One, because I'm partially deaf and all background noise just sort of blends into one anyway. And the second thing is just don't really like listening to people's conversations. That's their business. But this was very close. This was an earshot, and it was a young kid. He was on the monkey bars, and I did find it quite amusing. I'll tell you why I found it amusing. But there was a young kid, he was on the monkey bars. He was about 8 years old, and he couldn't figure out how to do it. He was trying to hold on. He kept falling off. He couldn't quite get the technique, and his dad was standing not too far away, and his dad was basically shouting instructions. He'd swing with your legs and all this type of thing. And you know, this kid, you can see this kid getting really frustrated. Anyway, eventually this kid turned around and says, "Oh, Dad, can you show us how to do it?" There was silence. And because it was silence, I had to turn around and see what was going on. And I could see the fear in his dad's eyes. He was like, uh-oh, like, I don't even know how to do this myself. He started coming up with loads of excuses. I don't need to show you how to do it, you can do it yourself. At one point, he was saying that his arm was hurting. But what I found hilarious was that he tried to throw his wife under the bus. So he's like, "Oh, look, why don't you get your mum to show you?" So they kind of pushed the responsibility onto his mum. Now, I was really secretly hoping here that she was just going to throw a coat off, jump on the monkey bars and go all Simone Biles on them. But she didn't. She too had some excuses of why she couldn't do it. But I felt a bit sorry for the kid because the kid just wanted his parents to be involved with it, especially his dad. He wanted his dad to be involved with it. He wanted him to jump on and show him how to do it. But his dad just didn't even try. You could tell that he didn't want to do it. And that's why these performance tests that I'm going to go through now are super important. Like, these aren't tests to get you to become the world's best athlete or anything like that. These are just tests that I believe that every man, woman and kid should be able to achieve to have a general level of athleticism. I call this ready for anything. This is for your body to be physically ready for anything that life has to throw at you. For me personally, I like to be able to swing the monkey bars with my kids. I like to be able to climb trees with my kids. I like to be able to run around with them. On Sunday gone, we were jumping over this big ditch. There was a ditch which was about this wide, probably a bit wider actually, and it was about this deep. And we were just jumping over it. We're having some fun. We were jumping over puddles. We're seeing how far there's some huge puddles, and we're trying to jump over these puddles. The youngest one jumped in it, but I could clear it, and I was quite sort of pleased about that. But I like to have this natural level of athletic abilities, and that's what I mean by when I call it general athleticism. It's not about being a world-class athlete. It's just about being able to do these basic levels of things. And that's what we teach the kids in the gym. So I do coach kids in the gym as well. And what we teach them is we teach them a baseline level of athleticism. And when they get this baseline level of athleticism, they can then go and do any type of sports that they want. And this is one of the things I feel that parents get wrong with the kids, to try to put them into certain sports to get good at. But actually, if you just get your kid athletic, then they will naturally gravitate to different sports. They'll be actually better at sports because of that baseline level of athleticism. And that's what we're kind of talking about here. So if you're a guy over 40 and you want to be a superhero to your kid, and you want to be able to jump on the monkey bars, you want to be able to sprint up hills, and you want to be able to do all of these really cool things, so your kid's like, "Oh wow, this video is going to be for you." These 9 tests that I'm going to go through, I've created an app for this, so you can download this app for free. It'll take you through the whole tests. It'll be bespoke to you, bespoke to your age, your height and your weight. And if you just do nothing else for the next 12 months and trained for these tests, you would be in a completely different place. You would have a stronger body. You would have a more muscular body. You would be physically better than 98% of people your age, or guys your age. You'll be in the top 2%. So you can download that app. I'll put that into the show notes. So what are the 9 tests? Okay, we're going to go through that now. Okay, so the first one is a trap deadlift. A trap deadlift is a fantastic way to test your lower body strength. Hamstrings, glutes, quads, lower back, abs. It just tests everything. And the reason I chose a trap deadlift to test this strength is because a conventional deadlift, when you have the barbell, it's very technical. A lot of people do this wrong. There's a lot of teaching involved with this, and you can get injured very, very easily. Also chose this over a back squat. And why I chose it over a back squat is because, again, when guys get older, the hip mobility goes, the ankle mobility goes, and they're trying to squat weights. I see this all the time in the gym. They've got a huge bell on the back. They're trying to squat, and it just looks really messy. A squat and a traditional deadlift is very technical, whereas a trap deadlift is very easy to teach. It's very easy to learn, and it's so much better on your back. So a good target for this, for guys, would be to lift your body weight for 5 reps. Now, if you go through this app, so you might be thinking, wow, body weight for 5 reps, that's a lot. Like, don't worry about this. This is just targets for you to go to. If you go through the app, it'll give you level 1 all the way up to level 5. Level 1 is your entry level, then you have intermediate level. The level we're trying to train at for life, this is your ready for anything level. This is level 3. Okay, so everything that I'm going to go through now will be your level 3, but there's entry levels to get to that level 3. This just gives you a target to go to. Once you reach that level, you can then go to pro level and you can go to elite level if you want to push that further. But where we stay and where we maintain our life, and we never let that level drop, is that ready for anything level. The second thing is a bench press. Now, why did I choose a bench press? The bench press is because it's a great way to test your upper body strength. Now, there's 2 movements that your body can do, upper body. You can push and you can pull. We're going to get to the pull in just a second. This one is a push. Now, you could be thinking, well, why don't we do overhead pressing? The reason we don't do overhead pressing is because, again, I see a lot of guys doing this in the gym and they're going to get injured. And this is why they're going to get injured, because they don't have the mobility, shoulder mobility, and the lat mobility to press overhead. I'll just give you a quick demonstration. So I see the guys in the gym and they're pressing overhead, and because they don't have the shoulder mobility and the flexibility around here, the arm is over in that direction, whereas it needs to be is over here. When the bar's over here and the weight's over here, that puts a tremendous amount of stress on your shoulders, but worse, it puts a tremendous amount of stress on your lower back, because as you're kind of pressing that way, you end up arching your back, and it can just get very, very messy. This is why I say for most guys over 40, stop overhead pressing, and you're better off doing some incline bench press and just dumbbell bench press or barbell bench press, which I'm going to touch on now. So barbell bench press is the second one on the test. A good target for this would be your body weight times 10 reps. Okay, again, you might not be anywhere near that yet. That doesn't matter. This is a guide for you to go to. This is what you're going to train up to. You can do 10 reps for your body weight. That is, again, that will put you in the top 2% of men your age. The third one is a push-up. You'd be surprised at how many guys can't do push-ups. I believe that everyone should be able to, men, women, and kids, should be able to get down and do 10 push-ups off the floor. This just gives you like a baseline level of strength and endurance for your upper body without needing any equipment. A good baseline here for guys is 20. If you can develop your push-ups from 0, if you're at 0, that's absolutely cool. Build it up. Your target is 20. So just imagine you're at 0 push-ups. Now you build your body up to be able to do 20 push-ups. Your shoulders and your arms and your chest is going to look a lot better because you can now do 20 push-ups. Your body's had to adapt and change for you to be able to do those 20 push-ups. Which brings us on to the fourth one, number 4, which is a pull-up. Okay, so we've gone from pushing and now we're on to pulling. I like the pull-up. I think a pull-up is a great way to test upper body strength for pulling. It is just an incredible exercise. It builds a lot of strength, builds a lot of muscle. Again, imagine you can't do any pull-ups, but then you train your body over the next 12 months to do 1, 3, 5, and then get up to 10 pull-ups. Your body is just going to transform because of that. You know, you're going to be able to swing on monkey bars, absolutely no bother at all. You're going to be able to climb trees, you'll be able to do all of these cool things with your kids, but you're also going to have a better physique because of that. So a good target for guys, for level 3, ready for anything, is 10. So that brings us on to number 5. Number 5 is farmer's walks. Okay, farmer's walks, basically you pick some dumbbells in your hands and you walk with them. Why is this good? Farmer's walks are one of the best ways to develop your grip strength. Now, there's a lot of studies out there that show people with a stronger grip live longer. So a good guide for this, or a good target for farmer's walks, is 50% of your body weight in each hand and walk for 100 meters. Okay, now you might not be anywhere near 100 meters. Don't worry about that. We're working up towards that, right? You might only get 10 meters. Great. That's your starting point. You might only get 5 meters. You might get 1 meter. You might be struggling to pick those weights up off the floor. Don't worry about it. You will get there. We're going to give you at least a 12-month target to start hitting these numbers, all right? But it gives you a guide to then start working towards. So 100 meters, 50% body weight in each hand. So if you weigh 80 kilos, that's 40 kilos on each hand for 100 meters. Number six is a plank. So why a plank? A plank is a great way to test core strength. Now, when we talk about core, people think it's abs. That is not what your core is, okay? Your core is everything from your shoulders down to your knees, glutes, hamstrings, quads, abs, back, chest. All of this is classed as your core. Now, when you do a plank, when you're in a plank position, you have to activate a lot of muscles to be able to hold that plank. Most people do a plank wrong and they start feeling it in the lower back. And the reason they feel it in the lower back is because they're not engaging all of these muscles. And the back starts to arch, they get pain in the back. If you can then change your position to hold a plank for at least 60 seconds, this is a great way to test your core strength. Sit-ups are a terrible way to test core strength, or ab strength. It's just terrible on your back, terrible on your neck. They're just a terrible exercise. A plank is one of the best ways to do this. A good target is to be able to hold a plank for 2 minutes. Number 7 is a broad jump. So a broad jump is basically you stand from starting position and jumping forward and seeing how far you can jump. Again, this is what we were doing on Sunday with the kids. We found a ditch and we were jumping over a ditch. Before that, we'd seen some puddles. We were jumping over some puddles. We were having some fun. That's pretty much what a broad jump is. You are jumping over a distance, okay? This is a great way to test your power, all right? Now, I'm going to tell you something here. What happens as you get older. As you get older, once you hit past the sort of age of 30, we start losing muscle mass at about half a pound every year after 30, okay? Don't worry too much about the numbers, but all you got to kind of understand is the older you get, the more muscle you lose. But here's the thing. There's two types of muscle fibers. There's type 1 muscle fibers, and type 1 muscle fibers are what we use on a general daily basis. So when we're walking, we're moving around, all of those things, we're using type 1 muscle fibers. Type 1 muscle fibers we also use for endurance based. So they use oxygen basically, and these are our slow twitch fibers that we use for endurance based activities. Type 2 muscle fibers, these are our fast twitch fibers, which we use for strength, speed, power. All right? These are the things that we lose as we get older because we stop jumping, we stop sprinting, we stop lifting stuff. These depreciate, or we lose these 3 times faster than we lose type 1 fibers, okay? So this is why you'll see when guys get older, they get weak all of a sudden. And it can almost be like an overnight thing where they went, wow, I used to be able to do that, and now I can't, and I didn't even realize, because they're losing these type 2 fibers. By doing a broad jump, it develops your type 2 fibers, but also it gives you a test of those fibers of what you have already. So if you keep that level, which a good level for broad jump is your height for distance, 170 centimeters or 1.7 meters. You can jump 1.7 meters. That is a good target to aim towards. Now imagine you could always do that right up until you're 60, 70, 80, 90 even. Then you know that you are going to be retaining at the very least those type 2 muscle fibers. It's a great way to test athleticism. It's a great way to test power. And yeah, you've got kids and you're jumping over puddles. It's awesome. So number 8 is a 300 meter row. So why would we do a 300 meter row? Okay, so a 300 meter row is a great way to test your work capacity, okay? Think about this as your engine. You're just putting everything you've got into that 300 meter row, power, strength, mind. It's very difficult. Your lungs start to burn, your legs start to burn after about 30 seconds, and you've got to kind of push through that. And this is just your capacity to just work maximally for 300 meters. Now, a good target for this is anywhere under 1 minute and 15 seconds. Get that down to a minute. If you can get that to a minute, that is a very good level. You can maintain that for life. So 300 meters for 1 minute. And the final one is a 1 mile run. So why a 1 mile run? Well, you never know when you're going to get chased by a hungry lion or an angry dog. Or maybe just one day your kids say, Dad, you want to go for a run? And you want to have that confidence that you know that you can get up and you can go for a 5K run. Okay, we're not going to test the 5K. I don't think that's necessary. But if you can run a mile, this is a good test of endurance. It's a good test of fitness. Personally, I hate running. I don't do it. But I do have the confidence in myself that I needed to run, that I could run. And that's what this is about. And what's great about the mile as well, it's like, let's say you can't run a mile. You might be sitting there thinking, well, there's no way that I can run a mile. No, but you can walk a mile. Okay, so that is your starting point. So you might start just walking a mile, and that might take you, 15 minutes. Let's say it takes you 15 minutes or 20 minutes to walk a mile. Well, that's your starting point, right? Then you just want to get that number down. So you want to start walking a little bit faster. Then you might start putting a few little jogs into that mile run. Okay, so eventually you're building that work capacity physically up, you're building that strength and endurance up because of all the other things that you'll be doing in the gym as well to get the other tests up, then you will start knocking that mile down. And eventually you'll be able to run a mile. Now you might be able to run that mile, and a good target for this is to get anywhere between sort of 9 to 7 minutes. Let's call 9 the top end. 7 minutes is a good target to get to that ready for anything level. If you can run a mile in 7 minutes over the next sort of 12 months, you're going to have that confidence just to get up and run anytime you want. So that was the 9 tests. You can download the app, it's free, and that will give you a bespoke test based on your age, based on your height, based on your weight, and you can take these tests anytime you want. I would say start now, take some tests now. Doesn't matter where you're at, it's just a starting point. Yeah, it's just a starting point. Over the next 12 months, you just use those tests to get better and better and better. You will completely transform your body. You will completely transform your strength. You will completely transform your levels of fitness. You will ultimately become a superhero to your kids. You absolutely will. Now that's what I've created this test for. So download the app. Let me know how you get on. If you have any questions on this video, by the way, please drop them below in the comments. And if you haven't done already, please subscribe to the channel, because this helps me to create more content like this so I can help you become a superhero to your kids and you can be ready for anything.